Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about an update on the situation in Ukraine. We're going to talk about a lack of supplies and how that is shaping events and how those events may have incredibly long-term impacts for Russia's attempted offensive at this point. So, what has been going on? The Russian military is being just absolutely plagued by shortages. We have talked about it repeatedly on the channel, but normally when we're talking about it, we are talking about higher end stuff, precision guided munitions, the stuff that is hard to get. There are now reports of just regular ammo, like small arms ammo, and them not having enough. Now, the information that's available, it's not really clear if they just don't have the ammo or it's a logistical issue of getting it to where it needs to be. If it's a logistical issue, it is a enduring one. They have real issues with this. This has been an ongoing thing for a week or two now. It is taking its toll. Aside from that, the tactics in certain areas have shifted, and the equipment that troops that are just showing up are receiving it's from a different era. There are reports now that troops that are being sent on frontal assaults are basically being given a rifle, a few magazines, and an MPL-50, an E-tool for Americans. For everybody else, a little baby shovel. And that's their equipment to move forward across a field and in some cases to hit a hardened position. Needless to say, this doesn't work. This is not, to quote one of the videos I'll reference here in a minute, this is not a way to fight a war. The lack of real tactical maneuvering and the lack of equipment is taking its toll on the newer Russian troops. The troops themselves are suffering from morale issues. There are a number of videos now that show Russian troops under Russian command, sending messages to Putin, or in some cases, basically telling their commanders they're not doing it anymore, in no uncertain terms. I'm going to read a translation here. I'm going to be leaving some parts of this out. If you want the whole thing in colorful detail, this should be relatively easy to find. No one is going on this assault. You can gel us all. And if someone tries to trick us and say we aren't going there and then they throw us on the front line, it will be an absolute show. It won't be forgiven. We'll just go ahead and attack them, talking about their commanders. This was one person speaking for an entire unit, and the unit was definitely in agreement, cheering in the background. They are facing widespread, I don't want to say desertion, but more of, we're not fighting a war like this. We're not going to just walk into the grinder for no reason. It doesn't actually, from the videos, this doesn't look like a situation in which these are conscripts that just don't want to be there. These are people who don't want to be thrown away, is what it looks like. There are a number of surrenders occurring, people voluntarily finding their way to Ukrainian forces. The Ukrainian military has set up a hotline with details on how to surrender. I actually think it's called I Want to Live is the channel. It's not going well. The offensive that was supposed to reinvigorate the Russian cause here, it's not moving, and it is not moving and paying a very high cost. It's waste. It's absolute waste. There is a back and forth around Bakhmut and whether or not it is going to fall. A lot of sources are saying that, Ukraine is barely holding on. And a lot of sources are saying Russia has the advantage, but they don't have the equipment to press forward anymore. I honestly cannot tell which is accurate, which is an information operation. I don't really know. It is an absolute mess there. The one thing that is certain is that Russia's renewed offensive has stalled. And it has stalled in a way that is creating widespread discontent among the mobilized troops, the new troops, the conscripts. That is a recipe for... It's a recipe that commanders definitely want to avoid on the Russian side. Because if it spreads, if the situation that is depicted in some of these videos becomes common, the commanders won't be worried about the Ukrainian forces. Now, how widespread is it? Don't know. I mean, it could just be maybe 150 people that are depicted in these videos across the entire line. It could just be that, or this could be indicative of something wider. But there's no real way to know. As the videos go out, they are obviously amplified because this is the type of propaganda that you can't buy this if you are the Ukrainian side. You can't manufacture something like this. This is pure propaganda gold. So they are amplifying it as much as possible. Because of that, it's hard to tell how widespread it is. But most estimates suggest that we're going to get a resolution and have a better picture as to how things are going in that area within the next week or so. But to be honest, we've heard that for about 3 weeks now. So those are the major developments that are occurring on the ground there. And it's, I think, the best description of it from everybody that I've talked to is a person who said that it has devolved into World War I with drones. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.